1947, the Cold War begins. This is Larry Reidy's America, Journey to 250. 1947 is not remembered for a single battle or a single election. It is remembered because the world quietly split in two. In this year, the United States abandoned isolation forever, accepted global leadership as permanent, and entered a long, tense standoff that would define the next half century. The Cold War did not begin with gunfire. It began with speeches, money, fear, ideology, and resolve. 2 years after World War II ended, America stood unmatched. The nation produced more than half of the world's industrial output. Its cities were intact. Its military was global. Yet the victory brought anxiety rather than peace. Europe was shattered, factories destroyed, currencies worthless, food scarce. The winter of 1946 and 47 was brutal, pushing already fragile societies to the brink. In Washington, policymakers feared that hunger and chaos would turn desperate population towards communism. President Harry S. Truman now faced a decision no American president had ever truly confronted: whether the United States would permanently police the world or retreat and risk another catastrophe. In March 1947, Truman addressed Congress with the words that redefined American foreign policy. He asked for aid to Greece and Turkey, nations threatened by communist movement and Soviet pressure. The Truman Doctrine declared that it was a U.S. policy to support free peoples who were resisting attempted subjugation by armed minorities or outside pressures. This was not a regional statement, it was a global commitment. America would no longer wait for threats to reach its shores. Containment replaced isolation. Critics warned of endless entanglements. Supporters argued that failure to act now would guarantee future wars. The Cold War had a mission statement. If the Truman Doctrine was the philosophy, the Marshall Plan was the execution. Proposed by Secretary of State George C. Marshall, the plan committed billions of dollars to rebuild Western Europe. Roads, factories, ports, and power grids were restored, not as charity, but as strategy. The Soviet Union rejected the plan and forced the Eastern European nations to do the same, sealing Europe's division. By the end of 1947, two systems stood face to face: American capitalism and Soviet communism. This was economic warfare without bullets, and it worked. 1947 reshaped the American government itself. The National Security Act of 1947 created institutions that will still dominate U.S. power today: the Department of Defense, the National Security Council, the Central Intelligence Agency, the United States Air Force. America formalized permanent military readiness. Wartime emergency became peacetime structure. Intelligence, secrecy, and global surveillance became normalized tools of governance. The presidency grew stronger. Congress deferred more. The modern national security state was born. While Europe stabilized, tensions hardened elsewhere. The Soviet Union consolidated control over Eastern Europe. Churchill's Iron Curtain speech the year before now felt prophetic. In Asia, China's civil war intensified between Mao Zedong's communists and Chiang Kai-shek's nationalists. U.S. officials worried that another major nation might fall. 1947 was the year Americans stopped asking if communism would spread and started asking where next. While America defended freedom abroad, it confronted hypocrisy at home. In April 1947, Jackie Robinson broke Major League Baseball's color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers. His courage under relentless abuse became a moral moment far larger than sports. President Truman quietly supported early civil rights measures and would soon desegregate the armed forces. Progress was slow and incomplete, but 1947 cracked a door that never again could be fully closed. Post-war America saw massive labor unrest. Strikes threatened steel, coal, and railroads. Many Americans feared unions had grown too powerful. Congress passed the Taft-Hartley Act over Truman's veto, restricting union activities and allowing states to pass right-to-work laws. Labor leaders called it a betrayal. Business leaders called it balance. The act signaled a shift away from the New Deal labor dominance and towards a new post-war economic order. 1947 also reflected unease in American culture. Science fiction boomed. Nuclear anxiety lingered. Trust in government mixed with fear of secrecy. In July, an incident near Roswell, New Mexico, ignited rumors of extraterrestrial contact. Though officially dismissed, the Roswell incident symbolized something deeper. Americans sensed forces beyond their control, atomic, ideological, and perhaps cosmic. The age of certainty was over. Espionage replaced open warfare. Soviet and American intelligence agencies expanded rapidly. Loyalty investigations began creeping into the public life. The groundwork for McCarthyism was laid, not yet hysteria, but suspicion. The Cold War required vigilance, and vigilance often blurred into paranoia. America began trading innocence for security. By the end of 1947, the world was no longer recovering from World War II. It was reorganizing for something new. America had committed itself to permanent global leadership, military readiness without war, ideological conflict without clear endpoints. The Cold War would dominate politics, budgets, culture, and fear for decades. And it all began here. Well, let's do some segment grades. For 1947, domestic stability, I would definitely give it a B+. I would give the economy an A-. Foreign policy leadership a definite A. Civil rights progress, B. Jackie Robinson started it all. God bless him, what a man. National confidence, B. Overall grade, I would say A-. 1947 was not dramatic, but it was decisive. Few years in American history quietly changed so much, so permanently. 1947 is the year America stopped being a nation that could lead the world and became a nation that must. The Cold War did not begin with missiles or walls. It began with decisions made in conference rooms, speeches delivered to Congress, and money sent across oceans. From this year forward, there was no going back. This has been Larry Reidy's America Journey to 250. Thanks for listening. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And I will talk to you on the next podcast.